let's plunge straight into what we have to do today. The crossword puzzle, what I was trying to get to you guys is that I don't want you to edit any document that I send you, okay? Let me just repeat that. Any document that I send you for assignment and so, don't edit it. So don't click on Google Documents or whatever and try to edit it. What I want you to do is wherever possible, you write your answers. So for the crossword puzzle, I wanted you to simply write your answers. So 1 down, 2 down, this is your answer, whatever. All right? The reason I'm doing this is to prevent some little issues that have been coming up with Google Documents. Sometimes it doesn't open up. People forget to hand it in. They do the assignment, but they didn't click send, or it's not coming up, or whatever it is. Some people fill it in and others see their answers. All sorts of things have been happening. So to avoid that, you look at the document, okay, and you write your answers, you type your answers up in a Word document, and then send it to me, all right? For those of you who don't have Word for whatever reason, you can also label or write on paper and take a photograph of it and send it to me. That's fine, I'll mark it as is. All right, once you just get it to me. So please, once again, any document I send you as an assignment, please don't try to edit it. What you can do, if it has a diagram that you need to label, you can copy and paste that diagram, put it into Word.
Can I just print it?
You can print it as well and write on it whatever you want and take a picture of it, send it to me, anything like that.
Yes, that's something I'll do.
Yes, you can do that. Just don't edit the document itself because it's causing a lot of issues, all right? So to avoid all of that, and me having to scrap, because I had to do that in some other classes, I had to scrap an assignment because kids are doing all sorts of things, including editing the document, and it's showing up, their answers are showing up to the other students, all right? We don't want that. We want everybody to learn and be able to do the exercises so I can tell if you are getting the material. So in future, if you have an assignment to hand up and I send you a document, you can, if it's a diagram, you can copy and paste the diagram in Word, draw over it, edit it, whatever you want, but just not the actual document I send you, okay? And wherever possible, you simply write your answers correctly numbered in Word and send it to me. All right, I'll get it from there. So I'm working on correcting all these things that you sent me. It's a lot of work, a large volume of work, because we have to assess very often, as this term, as you have heard, is continuous assessment right through to the end of the term. So it's a lot of work that we have to correct as teachers. So we ask that you have some patience, and we will definitely give you feedback. All right, so this week I'm working on it to give you some feedback as we move along. In the meantime, we have our topic to finish. We are on the topic of food, and we also have the topic of digestion coming up. I believe I just put food on your classroom. So when we finish today, I'm going to put up the PowerPoint on digestion, because that's going to be what we're going to do next. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. I cannot remember exactly what point we reached in our food presentation. So I'm going to bring it up, and we're just going to run through very quickly until we reach where we need to stop. All right, so you should be seeing my screen here. I'll bring up the food PowerPoint first, and then if we have time, we'll go into digestion. All right, so a quick run through where we would have done the functions of food, Energy contents of food, we said we have to measure in calories, but joules would be our next unit. Nutrition labels, counting the number of calories per serving, all right, and also looking at the serving sizes. All right, this would have been our activity on labels. Tips for reading labels, look at the serving size, look at how much you consume and determine how much calories, fat, vitamins and minerals. Energy values of food, carbohydrates, fats and proteins, fats being more than twice the amount of carbohydrates and also more than proteins. Nutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fiber, water. Right, so we looked at carbohydrates, good sources of carbohydrates, classes of carbohydrates. We have the simple, like the sugars, and the complex, like starch and fiber. Fats, also referred to as oils, used for warmth in the body, secondary energy sources. You can find it in meat, dairy, nuts, seeds, olives, oils. All right, fats from animals are not the healthiest. Plant fats are healthier. Proteins made up of amino acids, building up body tissues, enzymes, hormones, muscles, cartilage. You can find it in meat, eggs, dairy, nuts, beans, peas. Vitamins, needed by the body in small amounts. You find it in fruits and vegetables, some foods from animals. Our deficiency table here. Deficiency of vitamin A, B1, you could get beriberi, you could have dry skin from A, scurvy from C, rickets from D, dry skin and hair from E, and blood does not clot for K. And these are food sources on this side. Right, we have fiber, also called roughage, made from cellulose, fiber from fruits and vegetables, sweeps out the intestine to have regular bowel movements, and found in vegetables, grains, cereals, fruits, vegetables, whatever. All right, great. Water. 70% of the human body, major part of blood plasma, lost by perspiration, urination, and breathing, 8 glasses on average a day, fresh fruits and vegetables. Food tests, we have food tests for the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Benedict's test is for reducing sugar, which is glucose. Color changes from blue to green to orange yellow to brick red. And depending on the quantity, you will get versions of these colors. Iodine test for starch, you get a blue-black color, and that means that starch is present. Emulsion test, you get a milky white emulsion, meaning fat is present. And the burette test, you have from blue going to a dark purple violet color. Balanced diet, we said, has the right proportion of all 7 nutrients. The food groups, group foods that have similar nutrients in them. So we have our staples, legumes, food from animals, fruits, vegetables. So you get your fiber, your vitamin, minerals from here. Some carbohydrates as well. Major carbohydrate group here, fats and oils. Legumes, you get your proteins, your fats, and some carbohydrates. Here you will get your fats and proteins. Okay? Our healthy eating plate simply shows quantities of these that should occupy your plate. Diet and energy needs. Right, so we said that the basic metabolic rate of an individual, when your body is at rest, the rate at which all the chemical reactions, called the metabolism, rate at which it proceeds, it's called the BMR. Okay? Personal energy needs depend on age, gender, and lifestyle. For age, we said babies and teenagers, until you stop growing, need the most energy. After the age that you stop growing, which is about 21 for the latest, your energy needs decrease until you become an old person. If you are a man, you require more energy than women because of greater muscle mass and less fat. Women need more energy during pregnancy and breastfeeding for the baby, and they require more iron during menstruation. Lifestyle and energy needs. People who are sedentary or have office jobs, don't move a lot, they require less energy from their food. If someone is bedridden as well or disabled, and if somebody is an athlete or a manual laborer, anybody with a physically active lifestyle, they would need more energy from food. Are we what we eat? Yes, our diet has a great influence on our health, our blood, our brain, nervous system are made from the foods that we eat. Excess of carbohydrates and fats in the diet can lead to obesity, and obesity can increase your risk of other diseases like heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, and stroke. All right, I don't think we did this part here. We're looking at body mass index. So your body mass index, perhaps you've heard of this term before, your BMI. It's a measure of your relative size based on your mass and your height. So BMI is actually a mass divided by your height squared, height by height. All right? When you work out that figure, if you get a figure that is under 18.5, it means that you're underweight. Okay? If you are between 18 and a half and 25, you are normal, you have a normal BMI. Okay? See the range? And then over 25 and under 30, you are overweight. Okay? Like this guy here. He's actually a bit overweight. And a BMI over 30 is considered to be obese. Okay? So the BMI gives you an idea if you are any of these categories here. Now, care should be taken when considering the BMI as a measure of health and fitness, as a person's build and muscle can give an inaccurate result. So if you are a person very muscular, you have a big frame, you're going to have a large mass, okay? But it does not mean that you are overweight. All right, so you may get a figure that would be in the overweight category, but it does not mean that you're overweight. This guy is overweight. All right, this guy looks a bit underweight. Okay, so again, different body categories. BMI just gives an idea, but it's not a totally foolproof method. All right. Okay. Any questions on BMI? All right, great. So BMI is just basically a measure. It does not give the accurate picture of what a person's health is like. So you can be like this guy here, but you could be fit. Yeah, you could be fit. You're not the best weight, but you could be fit. You could also be this size and be unfit, believe it or not.
Miss.
Yes.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
See about the height by height?
Yeah.
What unit of measurement here use?
Normally you would have meters. They would use meters. Okay. So they would have kilograms, mass in kilograms over height squared in meters. All right. I mean, you could work it out in centimeters too, but I think it would change your reading a bit. But meters is the normal unit that they use for BMI. All right. As I said, yeah. As I said, it's not a measure of fitness. Fitness means how well you can handle physical activity. So it can have a person with this size, okay, they're very lean, but not necessarily be fit. There's a distinction, Okay, so a person this size could just be naturally so because of genetics, but they can't run a race or they can't take the stairs because they're not fit. Similarly, we can have a guy with this size, he might have a little belly, but he's accustomed running or doing some lifting weights and stuff like that. So he could be fit. He's not healthy because he's overweight, but he is fit. All right? So there's a distinction. We can have either or, we can have it vice versa, we can have all combinations. So the BMI is just an idea, but it is not a total picture of what a person's health is like. Body weight and health. Okay. So in today's world, a lot of people want to lose weight. Some people want to put on weight too if they want to, they're trying to build muscle and they're going to the gym and all of that. They may want to put on weight, muscle weight, of course, not fat, right? Then there might be a small category of people who are underweight and want to put on weight, fat that is. And the majority of people, because of our lifestyle, our Western lifestyle, and foods, more likely want to lose weight. Okay? So how is the science of body weight work? Basically, anytime we eat food, it's digested in our body, then it's used for respiration and energy. And if you have a little extra energy left over, it will be stored as fat. Okay? Now, when you keep doing that, you have a little extra over time, you're gonna have excess fat stored in your body. And you're going to become overweight. And if it goes on and on and on, then you can become obese. All right? Now, in order to lose weight, you have to do basically one of two things. You could either decrease how much energy you are consuming in your diet. In other words, you drop the fat, all right, all the high calorie foods, all the sugars and stuff that put in a lot of energy into your body. You have to decrease it, or you need to increase your output, your physical activity. So once again, in order for someone to lose weight, if they are obese or overweight, you either decrease your energy input in your diet, all right, through the high energy foods, all right, excess carbohydrates and fats, or you can stay as is, eating what you eat, but you need to increase your energy output, okay? So the exercise needs to increase. The physical activity, the movement needs to increase. In that way, you expend the energy that you consume. All right? If you don't do that and you only eat the energy that you consume, you will stay the same weight. All right? If your weight is fine, that's good. But if you want to lose it, you need to either decrease the energy input or increase the output, like this guy. All right? And this is what it's saying here. Either consume food lower in energy or increase your exercise. Finally, a person's weight is a product of their genetics and their lifestyle. So some people are born with a propensity to put on weight, or if they have family members, they're all overweight. You can have that risk of developing overweight condition. However, your lifestyle, what you eat and what you do also impacts what weight you will end up. Okay? Very important to note. Yes, your genes can play a role in your weight, as in being overweight or underweight or whatever it is. But it also matters what you put into your body and what you do with your body. Okay? Very important to note. Obesity and disease. So there are a lot of fat people, overweight, obese people in society today, all over the world. And it's caused by, of course, a lifestyle of a diet high in fat and not much activity, physical exercise. So when you combine those two together, you have no choice but to become fat. So on top of being fat, you have other challenges to your health because your body wasn't meant to be this size. Okay, so you have things like coronary heart disease. This is where an artery, a major artery called the coronary artery, supplying your heart. This artery becomes clogged with your fatty deposits. Okay? Over time, when you become this size, your body is going to have fat and plaque and stuff stuck inside your vessels, and it will, over time, become blocked. Okay? Hypertension. Hypertension is high blood pressure. So your blood is supposed to pass through your blood vessels normally, but if there's something blocking, your blood pressure rises as it has to try to get past that blockage. So as a result, your blood pressure will raise. Stroke happens when it is blocked completely, okay, and there is death of tissues and cells in your brain. So if a vessel supplying your brain becomes blocked completely, okay, it starves part of your brain of oxygen and you get a stroke, right? Type 2 diabetes, again, another organ in your body called your pancreas is strained by high blood sugar until it sort of gives out and it cannot control your blood sugar. All of these things are associated with being obese. So it's not uncommon to find a person who is overweight having all of these or one of these. Okay? They are at risk for all of these. And how do you keep healthy? With all this information that you know, it's very easy. It takes effort, but it is worth it to have.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes, question.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes.
Someone asked if you could re-explain hypertension.
Okay, hypertension. Oh yes, I'm now seeing it in the chat there. All right, hypertension. Yes, Makim, this is in the classroom already. All right, hypertension. Let me just go back to that slide. Right, hypertension here. Right, hypertension is basically your blood is supposed to flow through your vessels normally, okay? Your arteries, your veins, your capillaries, blood passes through. It's like little tubes with liquid passing through. Drink of water in a hose, all right? Now, your blood is supposed to pass through your vessels at a certain pressure, which is normal and healthy, okay? Similarly, if you have water passing through a hose, it's going to pass through at a certain pressure. Now, if you introduce a blockage into the tube or the hose or the vessel, all right, the blood now has to force its way through a smaller space in order to pass. When you do that, you increase the pressure, all right? So as a result, your blood flowing around your body is going at a higher pressure. Why is that bad? It's bad because you have these very small vessels called your capillaries, which can burst. They are very delicate. So if the pressure increases overall in your body and it's passing through the capillaries, they can simply burst. All right? And a burst capillary is not a good thing, especially if it happens in your brain. All right? So hypertension, not a good thing. It's called the silent killer. Hypertension is called the silent killer. All right, and the reason for that is you don't really, a lot of people don't really feel anything when they have high blood pressure. They don't feel any way different, okay? But when you check, your blood pressure is high, all right? So a lot of people are walking around with hypertension, they have a little extra fat on their body. They have high blood pressure and they don't know it, okay? If it's very bad, okay, if you have severe hypertension, you may start to feel bad. But if you don't, you can have high blood pressure and not feel a thing. All right. Our last slide, how do we keep healthy? All right, now that we know all of this information about diet and health and body weight and all of that, how do you keep healthy? Simply keep a balanced diet. We looked at the nutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fiber, water. Keep a balanced diet, which would give us a balanced amount of nutrients. If we look at the food groups, we would get an idea of what we should have the most of in our diet, which should be carbohydrates. Then we have our proteins, followed by our fats. We have healthy amounts of fruits and vegetables to give us vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. Okay? So a sandwich like this is definitely healthy because we have a lot of veggies and we have our carbohydrate. Okay? Also keep in consideration our age, our gender, and our lifestyle. So you all are still growing, so you would definitely need a lot of energy from food. You are boys, so you need more energy than girls at your age. However, your lifestyle lastly influences how much calories you're going to want from your food. So if you know that you are a student, you don't play a lot of sports, you don't exercise every day, you just walk around, maybe you just walk to and fro from a car into your house, you don't do any deliberate exercise, and so you want to be careful with your diet because you can easily become overweight. Okay? Physical activity, that plays in right here with your lifestyle. It's good. Aside from keeping your weight down, it's good to have regular physical activity. It keeps your heart healthy, keeps your circulation going, and a host of other benefits. Finally, adequate sleep, especially as you're still growing, helps your body to recover from illness, helps you to grow. While you sleep, your body is repairing itself, cells are growing, and this contributes to your overall health. All right? If you don't sleep well, you are more likely to develop a number of diseases. Questions? Yes, the sandwich looks like it's going to bite.
Sandwich for revenge.
Yeah. Ricardinho, are you asking me if I'm lightheaded? I didn't quite understand the question.
No, Miss, you said when you have high blood pressure, you feel lightheaded.
If you feel lightheaded,
Yes.
you'd be surprised. It wouldn't be lightheaded for high blood pressure, but more so low blood pressure. All right? More often than not, when you feel lightheaded, it is because you have low blood pressure. All right? Some people, if you have severe hypertension, it's then you'll start feeling sick and ill and stuff if you have high blood pressure.
How would you get, if you get high blood pressure from clogging in your arteries and your veins, how do you get low blood pressure?
I think the low blood pressure would be a different cause. For example, if you lose a lot of blood right away, like in one shot, you would suffer from low blood pressure. Remember, your blood is accustomed operating at a certain pressure to get the blood around your body. If you lose a large amount of it, suddenly that pressure would drop. Okay, that's one way. If you donate blood, for example, again, and you, like, let's say you get up and you're about to walk around, you could suffer from low blood pressure, temporary, all right? This one might be a little more complicated, but if you don't eat enough food or you're lacking in certain nutrients, like sodium and so, you could also have low blood pressure, all right? So certain conditions could contribute to low blood pressure, but by far, high blood pressure is more common, all right? Now, it doesn't mean if you feel lightheaded, that means your pressure is lower. I'm just saying one of the symptoms of low blood pressure is lightheadedness. So this could have other causes. It doesn't have to be that you have low blood pressure. Okay, yes, diabetes is extremely common in the Western world. It's extremely common in Trinidad, across the board. Almost everybody has somebody that has diabetes in their family, all right? Now, diabetes, thankfully, diabetes is actually one of the least scary things. Even though it has scary consequences, it is one of the least scary things because it is easily controlled by lifestyle and activity. Most times people who have diabetes and its complications, it's because they are not sure what to eat, how much to eat, and they are unaware that exercise can really, really help a diabetic person, right? Low blood sugar, you feel sleepy, that's correct. 12 bottles of water, well, that sounds a bit much. You have to look at the volume of water in the bottle. And I think based on your weight, I'll look for the calculation. Based on your weight, you can determine how much water you can drink, all right? David says he drinks soda like once every month. That's good. If you drink none at all, it's even better, all right? Okay, Jediah says cancer runs in his family. Yes, that is scary. Cancer is a little more complicated than what we're discussing here. However, what I can tell you is that from what I've read, people who are, again, eating a balanced diet and they are extremely active, they exercise every day, you decrease your risk of certain cancers, all right? So it's not a total death sentence if you have diabetes. Cancer, cancer takes a very long time to develop, and a lot of it has to do with your lifestyle habits. Not all, but some of it. So if you're a person accustomed eating a lot of fast foods every day, drinking soft drinks and stuff, you don't help your chances there, all right? Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables definitely help increase your chance. What else I was going to say? I was reading that soft drinks, if you drink more than one soft drink per week, okay, it increases your risk of pancreatic cancer by a lot. So it's not a good idea to drink soft drink, boys. I know it's marketed a lot, especially to kids, but the truth is it's not good for you, all right? It is not a good use of money. Buy something like water to drink. Trust me, in the long run, when you get older, you'll be glad that you took up healthy lifestyle habits. Soft drinks are tasty, that's why they are so popular, but they are not good for you at all, for no reason, okay? All right, guys, so again, not for anybody to get scared, but a healthy lifestyle, what I'm saying is, a healthy lifestyle is very, very important. Eat a healthy diet, get your fresh fruits and vegetables in every single day, eat beans, all right? Not a lot of KFC, fried stuff. You want to have that at a minimum, all right? Taril, 2 soft drinks is a bit much. You should try to cut down how much soft drinks you drink. If you drink none at all, it's better. If you want sweet, it's better to drink like freshly squeezed juice, all right? Eat a fruit, Guys, if you were to cut out all of these artificial sugars, you would be surprised how much you would enjoy a fresh fruit. It would taste awesome. And you wouldn't necessarily want the soft drinks. If you every time you feel for something sweet, you don't eat candies, but you eat fruits, it will be very good for you. How much exercise do you recommend a day for overweight or obese person? If they're on a good diet, your dad is diabetic and overweight, you want to help him get in shape. That's very good, David. It is, now, I don't want to recommend anything because I'm not a doctor, but I do know a lot of diabetic people. I'm related to a lot of diabetic people, and overweight is a risk factor for many other diseases with diabetes, okay? Someone who is diabetic should, my best recommendation, okay guys, I'm not a doctor, but this is my best recommendation. Somebody who is diabetic should eat as much whole foods as possible. What do I mean by whole foods? Nothing that is processed. So whole foods are things like provisions, beans, brown rice, fruits, vegetables, stuff that people haven't really interfered with. Processed food will be things like bread and pasta, rotis.
Lopez and Danny, thanks for spamming up the chat, please, miss.
Guys, could you just stop with the extra stuff in there? I just want to answer questions so everyone is learning.
Miss, how healthy is dumplings, miss?
Come again?
Dumplings, miss.
Jelani, what's your question?
How healthy are dumplings?
Dumplings? Dumplings, I think they make them out of white flour. If you eat whole wheat dumplings, it's better. But they're not bad. They're carbohydrates, right? So the diabetic person, eat as many whole foods. David, are you listening? As many whole foods as possible. Avoid soft drinks, please. Avoid fried foods. Avoid an excess of meat. All of these things have a lot of unhealthy fats that will not help him. Whole foods. You want to have less of the processed things, okay? So like floury stuff, bread and roti and stuff, those are processed. They're okay, but if you're a diabetic, you need some changes, right? So you want to have less of that because they're going to raise your blood sugar very fast. If you eat a lot of provisions and beans, vegetables and fruits, not much of fried things, is steamed stuff, not as much meat and oils and stuff like that, I can see that he may be able to lose the weight. And if he loses the weight, his diabetes would improve. All right? Mangoes are okay for diabetic people, but if it's out of control, you want to kind of stop that, right? Most of the generation is done for. Not yet. You guys are still young. You still have chance and time to change your lifestyles as you get into adults. It's harder for adults to make changes to their diet, but you are still young and it's easier. Believe me, it's easier, all right? The cafeteria in the school is not for a healthy diet. I agree with you, Ricardinho. I've gone to the cafeteria several times and I haven't found very much that is healthy. It sells though, so they're gonna sell you what is popular, right? The greasy pies, soft drinks and stuff. People like those things, so they're gonna buy it. But they are not healthy. I actually did an experiment where I ate the cafeteria food and I did put on some weight. All right, so I can tell you it's not the healthiest. Ariel, please stop doing that. All right. Okay, Jedi ate a whole pizza yesterday. Pizza is okay, but you should not eat a whole one in one day. If you can make your own pizza would be better. all right? You tend to use less oil and stuff when you're making pizza, and maybe not as cheesy, okay? Pizza generally is not a healthy food because it has a lot of saturated fat in the cheese. I like it, but I don't make, because I'm a vegan, I don't actually make pizza with cheese, okay? I make pizza with vegan cheese. So it doesn't have a lot of saturated fat. All right. Yes, pizza tastes good. Candy is not good for you. KFC is not good.
What cheese made out?
Huh? Question?
What's vegan cheese made out of?
Okay. Well, no. Well, you could have soy, yes. But now there are so many vegan products on the market. I actually make vegan cheese out of cashews. Cashew nuts. You can make nice cheese. It could taste like salsa dip. You can make it different ways and put it on top of your pizza. And it's not exactly like cheese. So if you're looking for exact like cheese, it's not going to be. But what I could say is, if you have it on a pizza, you're not going to miss cheese, right? It tastes similar. But the texture is not similar. So it's not stringy, it doesn't melt, that kind of thing. But it could make a good substitute, right? That's because I'm vegan. I'm not saying you have to eat that. I'm just saying cheese has a lot of saturated fat, all right? Guys, stop please spamming the chat. We're almost done. All right, I see you've been saying a lot of stuff in the chat. I did. I eat pizza, but not regular pizza, right? Yes, I am a vegan, so I'm not fond of animal products. I do like cheese, but for health reasons, I don't eat cheese, okay? Some vegans are vegans for...
Well, and cheese just tastes real good.
It does, but since I've been a vegan, I don't really eat cheese anymore. I use the cashew version, which is the vegan. Okay, so why vegans? Why am I a vegan? Some animals eat humans too. Well, I guess, but we can't do everything that animals do, right? Animals, they eat, some of them, they eat their poop. You know, they sniff each other's butt. We're not going to do those things because animals do it. All right? So, yes. So saying that an animal eats a human is not justification for me to eat an animal, right? Of course, I don't want to get into the vegan and that big debate, all right? It's for health reasons. But you guys can look into it. All right, so we are at the end of that presentation. It means in our next presentation, we will start on digestion. All right? I see a lot of meat eaters here. That's well and good. I'm just saying what I do. All right? So guys, it's on your, I'm gonna put up the presentation on digestion in the classroom so you guys can look at it and take it in and get prepared for our next class. All right, guys, see you. Yes, bread tastes good. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, miss.
Bye-bye.
Bye, miss.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ricardinho. Okay, David, that's a good idea.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.